Have you ever wondered why, even after saying "I love you," he sometimes still feels distant? Why he pulls away even when your heart is wide open? It's because love isn't always about the big, obvious words. It's about the hidden keys few women ever learn to use. Some phrases carry a different kind of magic. Not louder, but deeper. Not flashy, but unforgettable. The truth is, he doesn't just want to be loved. He wants to feel understood, respected, and wanted in ways that speak directly to his soul. And only a woman with quiet confidence knows how to use that power without ever begging for it. A wise voice once said, "Speak not to impress, but to connect. The heart remembers tone longer than it remembers words." Queens, it's not always about saying more. It's about saying the right things. A man may forget 1,000 compliments, but he'll always remember the one phrase that made him feel like more than just a provider, more than just a partner. The phrase that made him feel truly seen. And that, beautiful woman, is where your power lies. Not in loud declarations, but in the delicate art of emotional presence. Imagine a key that doesn't look like much, small, quiet, even simple. But once turned, it unlocks a door no one else could open. That's what the right phrase does. It touches a place in him no other woman has ever reached. And it's not about manipulation, it's about mastery, the kind of deep connection that doesn't demand attention, but earns devotion. Many women chase love with noise, but the woman who knows how to speak to a man's spirit, she never has to chase. She reigns. You've poured your heart out, you've done everything you were supposed to do, but still, something didn't work. That's not because you weren't enough. It's because no one ever taught you the real language of emotional intimacy. And now, that ends here, because you're not just here to be loved, you're here to be cherished, chosen, and respected. You're not the woman who begs to be heard. You're the woman who knows how to speak. And when she does, he listens without even realizing why. It's time to learn the phrases that shift everything, not because you need to change for him, but because you're stepping into your role as a queen, a woman who speaks not to please, but to be felt, a woman who doesn't shout her worth but whispers, and the world still listens. And trust this, when you master this quiet language of power, he'll look at you differently. He'll feel something he's never felt before, safe, seen, and pulled into your orbit with no escape. So lean in, Queen. This isn't just about what to say. This is about becoming unforgettable. If this message touched your heart, if it opened your eyes to something deeper, then take a moment, beautiful soul, and show your love back. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, not just for us, but for you. Because we're working day and night to bring you real, powerful, life-changing content that speaks to your spirit, reminds you of your worth, and helps you rise into the queen you were always meant to be. Number 1. I feel safe with you. Have you ever seen how a man softens, not when he hears praise, not even when he hears "I love you," but when he hears something that makes him feel like a refuge instead of a responsibility? It's in the quiet moments, when you look him in the eye and say, "I feel safe with you." That's when his guard lowers. That's when something deep shifts inside him. Because those words are not just words. They are a home, and not every woman knows how to build one in her presence. But the ones who do, they never go unnoticed. A man walks through a world that demands him to be strong, silent, unshaken. He carries weight no one sees. He fights battles no one talks about. But when he comes to you, he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to perform. He wants to breathe. When you tell him, "I feel safe with you," what he hears is, "You are enough for me." And that touches him more deeply than 100 "I love yous" ever could. The strongest love is not loud. It is quiet reassurance in a world full of noise. These words remind us that relationships are not built on fireworks. They're built on stillness, on presence, on the safety of being completely seen without being judged. That phrase, Queen, is a mirror. You're not just telling him who he is, you're showing him the space he creates in your life. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't scream, it doesn't move, but ships change their entire direction just to stay within its light. That's the effect a grounded woman has when she speaks calm truth into a man's storm. "I feel safe with you" is not submission, it's power. It's choosing connection over control. And when you say it with your heart, he feels it in his bones. Beautiful lady, let this remind you of the quiet power you hold. You don't need to chase love with volume. You attract it with presence. You don't need to decorate your words when your soul already speaks volumes. And the man who is truly for you. He'll lean in closer, not just because of how you look, but because of how you make him feel, like he can finally exhale. So remember this affirmation and let it guide your voice. My presence is his peace. Queens, if this phrase resonates with your spirit, write it in the comments right now. Let the world know you are the woman who makes love feel like home. We are here working hard, day and night, to bring you lessons that shift your love life, heal your soul, and awaken the queen within you. Number 2. I admire the way you handle things. Have you ever noticed how his entire energy shifts the moment you say, "I admire the way you handle things"? Not a compliment about his looks, not a generic praise, but something that touches the way he carries pressure, solves problems, stays composed in chaos. That phrase, it goes straight to his core, because deep down, he doesn't just want to be loved. He wants to be seen as a man who rises, who leads, who protects. And when he hears this from you, it doesn't just flatter him, it grounds him. It reminds him that he's respected in your eyes. And that, Queen, is a rare kind of power. There's a quote that says, "Respect in a relationship is like oxygen. You don't see it, but without it, everything suffocates." You see, love is beautiful, but love without respect leaves a man starving. And this phrase, it's pure respect. It tells him, I notice what others miss. I see your strength, your calm, your quiet leadership. You're not praising surface things. You're valuing the man beneath the mask. Imagine a man like a bridge, carrying the weight of everyone's expectations. Most people just walk across, expecting it to hold. But the woman who stops to admire how it's built, how it holds everything together without crumbling, that's the woman who captures his heart. Not the one who needs him to be perfect, but the one who sees how hard he tries to hold it all together. That's you, Queen. You aren't impressed by noise, you're drawn to stability. And when you speak to that stability, he feels chosen. Not for what he can give, but for who he is. Relationships don't thrive on romance alone. They grow when both partners feel seen. And when you say, I admire the way you handle things, you speak life into his purpose. You don't just say, I love you. You say, I respect you. And respect, that's what stays long after the butterflies fade. Dear lady, stop thinking you have to do the most to be unforgettable. Sometimes one simple truth, spoken with grace and strength, is all it takes to capture a man's soul. You don't need to fight for attention. You need to speak like the queen you are, and let your words command it. Write this affirmation in the comments and claim it. I speak life into his strength, not just his heart. We are working hard to bring you the truths that help you attract, connect, and reign in love with confidence. Number 3. I believe in you. Have you ever looked into his eyes and seen a man carrying weight he never speaks about? He may act strong, smile wide, keep moving like everything is fine, but behind that silence is a heart that wonders if he's doing enough, if he's becoming enough. And in those quiet moments, when life gets heavy and doubt creeps in, do you know what cuts through that silence deeper than I love you? These 4 quiet words: I believe in you. He doesn't just want praise, he wants to be seen. He wants to feel like the woman beside him trusts the man he is and the man he's still becoming. He may not say it, but when you tell him, I believe in you, it touches the part of him that craves certainty, reassurance, and quiet faith. You're not just saying words, you're breathing life into his vision, his ambition, his identity. A powerful quote says, sometimes all a man needs is a woman who whispers, you've got this, even when the world screams otherwise. When you speak belief into him, you give him a place to land, to exhale, to gather strength. That's not ordinary love. That's healing. That's power. Imagine a small flame struggling in the wind. One careless breath could blow it out. But just one gentle shield from your hand, just one word of belief, and that flame steadies, grows, becomes fire again. That's what I believe in you does. It shields his light in moments of darkness. It tells him he's not walking alone. And queens, only a woman of deep strength knows how to carry that kind of grace. Not every woman can say it and mean it. But when you say it, he feels it in his bones. You don't need to fix him. You don't need to lead him. But when you believe in him, he rises. He fights harder. He wants to become the man you already see. Because you are not just a woman. You are a queen. And queens don't speak to his ego. They speak to his soul. And when a queen says, I believe in you, he carries that strength into every room he walks into. He remembers that voice when everything else falls quiet. So say it not because he's perfect, but because you see what lies beneath. You see his heart, his growth, his effort. And when you honor that with belief, you become unforgettable. It is powerful affirmation. My belief in him is quiet power. He'll never forget how it felt. Queens, write this affirmation in the comments and claim it with pride. We are working hard to bring you real, life-changing lessons that help you love stronger, live deeper, and rise higher. Number 4. You don't have to be perfect with me. Have you ever watched a man take off his armor, not because the battle is over, but because he finally feels like he's found shelter? That moment, that rare, raw moment when he drops the mask, not out of defeat, but because you made him feel safe enough to do it. That's what this phrase unlocks. You don't have to be perfect with me. It doesn't sound grand. It doesn't echo like, I love you. But it hits deeper, because when a man hears those words, it tells him he's finally standing in front of someone who sees past the performance. And that, Queen, is a power only few women understand. There's a quote that says, "Real love doesn't demand perfection, it welcomes presence." And you, beautiful soul, are no longer here to love with fear or to be loved in fragments. In relationships, we often think love has to look perfect, but perfection is cold. What warms a man's spirit is knowing he can come to you without pretending to have it all figured out. Not to be fixed, but to be felt, flaws and all. Think of a heavy stone he's been carrying, mistakes, doubts, expectations, battles he never spoke of. And then imagine you, not trying to take the weight from him, but simply sitting beside him saying, "You don't have to carry it all here." That moment, that's not just comfort, it's intimacy. And when he feels that, he won't want to leave, not because you made him feel like a hero, but because you let him be human. Many women give love, but only a few give peace. The woman who can look him in the eyes and say, "You don't have to be perfect with me," becomes unforgettable, because she becomes the only place he doesn't have to earn his worth. He just is. And he'll crave that forever. Because perfection is what the world demands. But peace, that's what his heart aches for. Now listen, lovely woman, this isn't about lowering your standards or carrying his burdens. This is about stepping into the kind of power that doesn't fix him, but frees him. Because you're not just any woman. You're the rare one who makes him want to become better, not because he has to, but because you believed in him as he is. Write this in the comments and claim it. He doesn't have to be perfect with me, but I'll still inspire his best. Queens, type it boldly. Let the world know that your love doesn't demand perfection. It inspires evolution. And if this message touched your heart, like the video and subscribe. We are here working day and night to create these soul-shifting lessons for powerful women like you. Because you were never meant to be average. You were meant to reign. Number 5. You make me feel proud to be yours. Have you ever noticed how a man's eyes change when he hears something he wasn't expecting, but needed more than anything? Not flattery, not empty praise, but a quiet, soul-deep phrase like this: "You make me feel proud to be yours." That's not just a compliment, it's a crown placed in his hands. It says, "I see you, I choose you, and I stand beside you with pride." Those words are heavy, and yet only a few women ever realize how powerful they truly are. He doesn't just want to be loved, he wants to feel admired. He wants to know that when you look at him, you don't just see what he does, you see who he is. And when you speak those words, you unlock a part of him that even he tries to hide. As one wise soul once said, "A man doesn't truly fall in love when he is desired, but when he is deeply respected." Think of a soldier returning home from battle, his armor scarred, his spirit tired. The world only sees the damage. But when the woman who loves him meets his eyes and says, "I'm proud of you," he stands taller. The wounds don't matter anymore. The weight disappears. That's the kind of strength your words carry when they're spoken from truth. When you say, "I'm proud to be yours," it's not about perfection. It's about presence. It's not about what he earns, it's about how he shows up. Dear woman, if no one told you before, you hold power in your voice. You don't have to beg to be loved. You don't have to compete for space. Because when you walk like you know who you are, when you speak to a man's character instead of his ego, you don't chase his love. You command it. And this, beautiful soul, is where you begin to live as a queen. A queen doesn't throw around words. She speaks with purpose. And when she says, "I'm proud to be yours," it doesn't just reach his ears. It hits his core. That phrase tells him he's not just wanted, he's chosen. That kind of love. He will never forget it. Let this be your reminder. My love is not loud, but it leaves echoes he'll never silence. Queens, if this line speaks your truth, write it in the comments right now and own it with pride. We're here, working hard to give you lessons that heal your heart, sharpen your soul, and remind you that you were born to reign. Number 6. Thank you for showing up for me. Have you ever watched a man freeze in surprise when you say, "Thank you for showing up for me"? It's not because he expects a parade. It's because so few ever notice what he carries, what he pushes through, what it takes for him to simply be there. In a world where most only see what he provides, he's rarely acknowledged for how he shows up with presence. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And when you say this phrase, simple as it sounds, it stops him. It reaches a place in him he didn't even know was craving to be seen. There's a reason the words, "I appreciate you," can carry more weight than "I love you." Because love can sometimes become routine, but appreciation, that's chosen, that's deliberate. And when you thank him for showing up, you're not just admiring his actions, you're recognizing his effort, his loyalty, his quiet fight. To feel seen is to feel loved, and this is exactly the kind of love that stays with him long after the moment passes. Imagine a candle in a storm. Others ran, but he stayed. He kept that small flame alive when life tried to blow it out. And you noticed. You didn't just enjoy the light. You thanked the flame for staying lit. That's what this phrase does. It honors what most ignore. It speaks not to his image, but to his soul. This is not about flattery. This is not about feeding his ego. This is about building something real, something that touches the core of a man who chooses to stay when things get hard. And only a woman with deep strength, a quiet knowing, a royal heart understands that kind of power. She doesn't throw words to impress. She speaks with intention, with warmth, with truth. Beautiful woman, this is your reminder. You are not here to love from desperation. You are here to love from power. You are not here to beg for presence. You are here to recognize those who earn it. And when you do that, he won't just love you. He'll respect you. He'll protect what he knows is rare. Because only a queen knows how to say something as simple as, "Thank you for showing up for me," and make it sound like the highest honor. So rise, elegant queen. Speak from your heart. Write this affirmation in the comments and claim it. I honor the ones who show up. We are here, working with love and purpose to bring you the truths that awaken your power and transform your relationships. Number 7. I see the man you're becoming, and I love his growth. Have you ever looked into his eyes and seen the war he's quietly fighting just to become better? Have you ever watched the way he tries, not perfectly, but with everything he's got, and felt something deeper than love? Because this right here, this is what most women miss. He doesn't need another reminder of where he's falling short. He needs to know that you see him, not just for who he is, but for who he's trying to be. And when you say, I see the man you're becoming, and I love his growth, you don't just speak to his ears, you speak directly to his soul. There's a quote that says, when a man feels admired, he becomes more of the man he wants to be. And Queen, This is the secret. He doesn't need perfection. He doesn't expect everything to be easy. What he truly needs is to be seen in his process. Not judged, not rushed, but recognized. Because in this world, he is constantly measured, constantly tested, constantly told he's not enough. But when you step forward, not with pity, but with presence, and you speak life into his evolution, that's when he feels something no other woman has given him: safety in his growth. Think of a tree, tall and powerful, but still young. Every day it stretches upward, hungry for more light, trying to grow into its full form. Most will walk by, only seeing branches and bark. But a gardener, she sees potential. She speaks to it. She waters it. She protects it. And one day, it becomes a giant. And who does it remember? The one who saw its future before anyone else could. That queen is the kind of woman he never forgets. Let this sink in. When you tell him, "I see the man you're becoming," you're not just admiring his strength. You're showing him that you understand his journey. You're giving him space to be real, to grow, to become. And that kind of woman, she's not ordinary, she's not common, she's not replaceable. She's a queen in every sense, because she doesn't speak to impress, she speaks to build. So now, lovely woman, rise into your power. Speak with purpose. Speak with grace. Let your words be the calm in his chaos. Let your presence be the proof that growth deserves love too. And the day he realizes that you loved him during the becoming, not just after, he will know he's found something rare. Affirm this now in the comments. I love his growth because I see his future. Queens, write it loud, write it proud. We're working every day to bring you powerful, life-changing lessons that don't just teach you how to love, but how to reign.